Hey there, let's play Wordle number 528. Yesterday's Countryle answer was the Solomon Islands. The Solomon Islands are a major exporter, or at least producer, of coconuts, which grow on palm trees, so I thought I would start with the word palms. Well, that's promising. I like to say, negative information is useful too. Let's trying to get as many vowels accounted for as I can. How about tried? I like that. Okay. D and an E. Wonder if it starts with DE then. Decoy? I think I'm gonna try decoy. That tests the O as well and the U. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. Okay, wrong about that. Alright, let's get serious. There may only be E's or an E. Or there could be a U still. What else do I have? I have a W, an F. I haven't used G or H yet. Brain doesn't want to work today. I feel like I need some guidance here. It's not under, obviously. Maybe it doesn't end in ED. Can I get a word like this? Undue? That actually fits. I'm gonna try that. Oh, wow. I did not expect to get it on that guess. Awesome. All right. Well, that went better than I expected from how I started off. Let's talk a little bit about the Solomon Islands. The Solomon Islands is an island country consisting of 6 major islands and over 900 smaller islands in Oceania, east of Papua New Guinea. It has a population of approximately 700,000. Its capital, Honiara, is located on its largest island, Guadalcanal. It is part of the larger Solomon Islands archipelago that also includes the North Solomon Islands, which are a part of Papua New Guinea. And I talked about Papua New Guinea in a video several days ago, which you can check out. I will link that in the comments as well. The islands have been settled for at least 30,000 years. They were first contacted by Europeans in 1568 by Spanish explorer Alvaro de Mendaña. You can practice it over and over again and still stumble when you turn on the camera. Over the following centuries, contact between Europeans and indigenous islanders was sometimes cordial and often violent. Europeans also began a practice called blackbirding, in which islanders were forced into service aboard their vessels. This, of course, did not help relations between the native inhabitants and the European powers. In 1893, the British declared the Solomon Islands a British protectorate. During World War II, the Solomon Islands campaign between 1942 and 45 saw fierce fighting between the Allied and Japanese forces, including the very well-known Battle of Guadalcanal. Though first visited by de Mendaña, I don't know why I can't say that, de Mendaña, he did not name the archipelago, only individual islands within it. It appears that others who received his reports about the region began referring to the archipelago as the Solomons in reference to the biblical king. In 1943 to 44, some island chiefs got together to begin a movement called the Masina Rule, aiming to achieve better economic well-being, greater autonomy, and to act as a liaison between islanders and the colonial administration. The British, in response, launched Operation De-Louse, which is delightful, in 1947 to suppress the movement, arresting the leaders of the movement. A period of civil disobedience began. When decolonization began sweeping the colonial world, Britain sought to prepare the Solomons for self-governance, starting in 1960, and the country was granted independence on the 7th of July, 1978, but remains a member of the British Commonwealth with King Charles III as its monarch, represented locally by a governor-general. Tensions arose between various native groups in the late 1990s, and by 2001, the economy had collapsed and the government was bankrupt. Violence continued, such that in 2003, Australian and Pacific Islands police and troops arrived to help restore order. These forces only withdrew in 2017, but unrest and rioting have continued. In March 2022, the Solomon Islands signed a memorandum of understanding on policing cooperation with China, as well as reportedly being in the process of concluding a security agreement with China that would allow an ongoing Chinese military and naval presence there. This understandably worries Australia and the United States. The Solomon Islands is a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary system of government. Due to ongoing unrest and violence, there are human rights concerns in regard to education, water, sanitation, gender equality, and domestic violence. Homosexuality is illegal there. The climate is warm and humid most of the year and does not have pronounced seasons. It lies quite close to the equator, between 5 and 13 degrees south. The Solomon Islands has the lowest per capita GDP in the world, ranking as the least developed country. More than 75% of its labor force is engaged in subsistence farming and fishing. The islands have few exports and rely on timber as well as exports of live dolphins, which also understandably worries Australia. It is also the 18th ranked producer of coconuts, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Cocoa beans are harvested there as well, and the islands are rich in mineral resources, but there is not much mining. The majority of Solomon Islanders are ethnically Melanesian, Polynesian, and Micronesian. While English is the official language of the country, no more than 2% of the population are fluent in English. Most speak an English creole called Solomon's Pigin, which is the de facto lingua franca, and is closely related to Tok Pisin, which is spoken in Papua New Guinea. Education there is not compulsory, and literacy rates hover around 84%. The country is ranked 155th on the Human Development Index. Life expectancy is approximately 73 years, and infant mortality is about 13.4 deaths per 1,000 live births. So, this country is unfortunately not in very good shape, but it has potential as a tourist destination, like its fellow island nations surrounding it. Hopefully they can get back on their feet. Thanks for joining me. Feel free to drop a comment here or on the Countryle video, which will be linked in the description, with a starting word for tomorrow's Wordle based on today's Countryle answer. And I will see you then for some more Wordle.